Oh, I'm so excited.
Are you now?
We have a new segment for you guys.
A new segment, huh?
Truth or tease?
All right. What the hell is that?
It's like the Am I the Asshole, only the roles are reversed. I have found some slutty stories, and I'm going to read them to you. And then you're going to give a percentage of how truthful you think the story is. Because we all know that the story about the guy that banged 5 women really was about a guy that banged 1 woman and a second woman watched or something. But then he embellishes it into this crazy story. So maybe 10%
Or
of
a
the
guy
story is
who
true.
watched a bad porno about
Yeah.
banging 5
Or
women.
maybe it's
now he thinks
0%
he's done
true.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Or it could be 100% true. We don't know. Some of these do seem realistic that I've seen. Lots of
Some do not.
So what I'm going to do, though, is like these people, they'll edit them. And so I'm going to read the story, then I'm going to read the edit. Because unfortunately, the way they wrote the edit, it makes it sound like he gives it away what's going on in the story. So we won't deal with that. All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Remember, percentage of truthfulness. My wife and I have been married. Oh, and by the way, people, if you don't like vulgar terms for sexual things, you probably don't want to listen to this. My wife and I have been married for around 8 years. It's a joke around the friend group that we rarely have sex. I make comments and jokes about wanting it. I've even heard her friends say she's lying when she will make a joke about having sex with me. They know I'm struggling. It's been over a year since we did anything. There's a little backstory to this, but I won't get into that unless anyone wants to know. But one day a few weeks ago, my wife texts me that her friend is coming over and she's just leaving work. I say, okay, and she can help with supper or some stupid thing. Her friend is a bigger girl, younger than us, fat ass and big tits with a belly. Wow, that's quite the description.
I'm sure she loves being described that way.
Honestly, that description was fine until he added and a belly.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with having a fat ass and big tits. It's the and a belly part that he probably should have left out. I've thought for a long time, oh, wow, that's a strange follow-up. I've thought for a long time about fucking her. I guess he likes fat ass, big tits, and a belly.
Fine.
But never done it or actually thought I would. A while later, her friend walks in. We speak. I'm folding laundry. We catch up, a little normal things. It isn't really on my mind to have sex at all. She makes some comment about having the same panties as my wife. I say, need me to fold yours? Because I'm a dork. She says she'd have to take them off. I see where this is going. I get flustered and my face gets hot. She's smirking. Try to be smooth. And she asks how long it'll take me to fold them. I say at least 10 minutes. Because again, I'm an idiot. She stands up and takes them off. And my heart speeds up and stops at the same time. I'm flustered. I'm honestly ashamed. Like, I know it's all wrong. And I keep saying no. But the words aren't actually coming out. I'm hard and bulging in my gym shorts. No hiding it. It's obvious. I don't even remember what led to her riding me on the couch, surrounded by laundry, but she did. Hard, bouncing and groaning. I grabbed her hips and we fucked. It felt incredible. I didn't care that I was wrong. It was exactly what I had needed. I bent her over and fucked her from behind as she screamed and moaned. I pulled out and came hard all over her big ass. We both just were in shock for a second, didn't say much, just cleaned up, and I started laundry again. We've talked several times. I have a feeling we are going to do it again. Then the edit.
You're
You're
going to read me the edit before I react to it?
I didn't expect the reaction I've gotten. Thanks for the support. I'm glad so many can understand my situation. Since a lot are asking, I'm not sure why it's been over a year. We've had the tough conversations again and again. I'm always told everything is fine. I've offered to spice it up. I know I'm not the world's most amazing lover, but I'm open to whatever to make it pleasurable for her. Her pleasure is the best part. Anyway, I don't know the reason. Haven't been told. Just got blown off a little bit. Sometimes she will get tipsy and flirty, but it never goes anywhere. Again, there's a running joke among friends there. And for everyone saying, my wife set it up, I don't know, and I never will, because I ain't saying a word.
It does seem like his wife set it up.
It's interesting, though, because, okay, as a wife, if we were in the same situation, why would you set up me to have sex with somebody else and not just have sex with me yourself, your husband?
Maybe she wants a divorce and she wants him to have cheated on her because they're in a full
Oh, so she's
divorce
tricking
state.
him into that. Got it. Okay. That makes more
That's the
sense.
reason that pops to the top of my head.
Got it. Yeah.
Think of the logistics of how he described banging her at first. Her on top of him, riding him on the couch. After describing her as having a big ass and a belly. I don't buy it. I don't think it happened. I think that she probably flirted with him. I think she maybe even handed him her underwear, but I don't think they had sex on the couch.
I think you're right, but I think your reason for being right is wrong. Why does it matter whether she rode him or he rode her? The fact that she has a belly matters for that? Doesn't seem to matter to
Logistics of sitting on the couch. Somebody with a gut trying to ride you. Not a thing. Doesn't happen. I don't buy it. I don't believe it at all.
You explained it better the second time around, by the way. I was very confused. I was like, I don't understand how her being on top makes any difference in the world as whether this is true or false. People do it all different ways. Actually, to me, when I read these things, the more vanilla they are, the more realistic they sound to me. I'm going to tell you one thing, that there was a little too much detail around her and who she is, and not enough detail around the sex. Because as a man, you're going to be recalling, if that actually happened, you're going to be thinking more about the sex part of it and not so much about what she looks like. You might describe, like he didn't describe what she looked like when she took her panties off. A man would.
Right.
He didn't.
He didn't describe what she was wearing that made it so easy for her to take her panties off either, which is where I started to stop believing that it was real. I think everything up to the point where she took off her panties was true. And I think after that, he lapsed into a, oh my God, coma and didn't actually have sex with her.
Do you think she wanted to have sex with him?
I could go either way. Women
Do you
can be
think the
flirty.
wife? Do you think the wife set it up? But that's like a lot more than flirty, if you ask me. I'm sorry, but to me, if I was hanging out with like you and some other friends of ours who were females, and one of them was like, "Oh, did you lose some weight? Oh, look at your arms; they look good." That's flirty. But oh, here, you want my panties so you can fold them? Here, let me take them off in front of you.
No, I don't think she took them off. I think, like I said, I think everything before the point of her removing her panties was true.
Wow, I've needed a lot of clarification from this one. Because you understand what I'm saying. If some woman's taking her panties off for me, that is not just flirting.
But everything she said before that
was
maybe very suggestive flirting.
She's insinuating she'd like to see my underwear too.
I think she's more insinuating that she'd like to see her underwear on the floor.
Exactly. That's what I know. I was less graphic than you.
I don't think he banged her friend. I don't know. I think that everything else is probably true.
But do things like this ever happen?
Not with your wife's friend.
I'm going to tell you that I think it does happen, but I don't think it's as like smooth and romantic as he made it sound.
No. And I think it usually involves more tequila.
Let's be real. Exactly. But let's be real. Two perfectly sober people. Wife did not send her over there. He's over there. And the wife said she was on her way home. So now, in his head, he knows how much time he has.
That's the other thing. The wife was on her way home this entire time.
But he knows how much time he has. And if he's a smart guy, he's going to think about the fastest she's ever made it home. And that's how much time he has. If normally it's 30 minutes, but she's made it in 20, count on 20. Then
you need an awful lot of positions.
Like if I was preparing a surprise for you or something and you were coming from somewhere that it normally takes you 30, but the best you've ever done is 15, I would have it ready in 15. Because what does it matter that it sits there for another 15? Doesn't. What matters is you're ready by the time you walk in the door. He would have known, okay, she's going to be home in 20 minutes. He's not going to sit there and be like, oh, I want me to fold them back up for you. It's going to take me like 10 minutes. He's going to be like, just take those things off and bend over. Like literally, that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to get to it. He's not going to be like, oh, let's string this out. And then on the couch?
Right.
Like, what if she walked in the door?
Like, go and
they're
bang
both
it out
dead.
in the car.
Both dead if she walks in through the door. And then the other part that gets me is I think that most best friends would only do that if they were asked by their friend to do it. I don't think they would all come. I think the majority would not come on to their. Now, sadly, I hate to say this, the reverse is not true for men. If a man thinks that his friend's wife is hot and she would bang him, he will try. And I think that's sad.
Yeah.
Most women won't.
So either this was 100% set up by the wife, which I think is very unlikely, or he lapsed into a coma after she flirted with him.
And he thinks it all happened.
I think
Can
he
you imagine?
wishes it all happened.
Probably. I still can't believe I had not read the whole story. I just perused it. I can't believe how he described her.
Right.
Like the first two parts, that's how a man's going to describe a bodacious woman that he's into. But the last part, I was like, I hope she doesn't read this story, bro.
Right.
Because if she did do it with you, it ain't happening again.
Literally never.
Not after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wishful thinking. So I think it's probably 50% true because the 50% before the banging was probably true.
To that part. But everything after that is false.
It happened in his head.
It's interesting that the best friend would go that far with the conversation, though.
This is true.
Because that's going over the line. Like, if I found out that you and a friend of mine had that kind of conversation, would not be a happy man.
That's fair.
Would you? Roles reversed? Exactly.
No.
And that's nothing happening.
But I am a fiery redhead.
That's nothing happening, too. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's absolutely, nobody touched anybody. It was just words. No. That's why, honestly, it's why when I get some of these like fake female scammers and I want to really be like crude and nasty because I want to scare them off, I tell you right up front, you're going to see this. It's got to be because of this. And I'll even tell you sometimes what I'm going to say and where I'm going to go with it. That way, when you read it, oh, this is exactly the story he told me he was going to tell. I don't ever want you to think that, ever.
You know what I said, all of my scammers. I invite them to become husband number 8 in my shack.
Yeah. In your igloo.
Shack.
Usually say in your igloo.
No.
You used to anyway.
I shack now. There's no igloos in the United States.
We just did this slutty confessions thing. And the other day we were at the Strip.
And all the hoes were out.
My God.
It's like a hose on the loose.
It's like clothes are optional again in Vegas. They were like, okay, we go to, what's the place called?
Dog.
That place was rad, by the way. I highly recommend it. Go there, check it out. But we get there.
And sit on the roof.
Like we're on the roof and it's beautiful view of the Strip. And honestly, I purposely walked when we left. I wanted to walk along the edge there like we did because there's not a bad spot on that roof. You can sit anywhere on that roof. As long as there's roof seating available.
For some context for people, it's like right across the street from Park MGM on the roof of that ball thing. And so where Mike was sitting, he had a view of that city center with Cosmo and Aria and all that stuff. And I had a perfect view of New York, New York.
Yeah. But here's what I was getting at. We're sitting there and I like look to my right and I see this chick and this dorky guy coming in. And the chick is like in this red dress. And I first thought in my head is something. I'm not going to say what it is yet. Then, and this one looks and she texts me and she goes, he totally paid for this date. And I know exactly what she meant. She didn't mean he's buying the drinks. He did that. She meant he paid her. She got paid to be on that date with him.
She was a cute, skinny woman with a reasonable body, and she was wearing a tiny little red dress.
7.5.
She was at least a Vegas 9, okay? For that time of day.
If you're drunk, she probably
she was a Vegas 9. Anyway, and he was a 1. He had a neck beard.
Yeah, he was really... Well, that one was funny was he had the fake chivalry. She leaned back and I guess she got some gum in her hair.
Yeah.
And so he was like, going, can you please? And it was so obvious he was looking for a discount. She put her head back and you guys didn't clean this up. And so there's gum in her hair now. Can you take care of it? I hope they didn't give him a discount.
Me too.
But you're right. Like that woman was way too hot for him. I think she's a 7 or 7.5. So I didn't even think she was that hot. But way too hot for him. Like he was batting out of his league. If she touched any part of his naked body, any part, his elbow, I will be surprised.
I think it depends on how drunk he gets her.
And how much he paid her.
She totally paid her. Even if he just paid her for the date and not for the sex after the date, like she's a legitimate escort.
That's a big thing here in Vegas.
Right.
A lot of girls are escorts.
Right.
They go, man's in town for business. He's lonely. He goes out on a date. I think the man's probably hoping to get more than just the date, but most of the girls that do it are not.
But there's a lot of escort agencies where sex is not
it's not
on the menu.
But I just think it's interesting because the weather just gets slightly warmer for a little bit of time. And all of a sudden the women are like, you could be naked.
It wasn't even so hot that day that we couldn't comfortably sit out on the roof at 4:30 during.
Oh, yeah, it was super. It was like 70 degrees. It wasn't hot at
Yeah.
all.
It was nice. And it was hoe o'clock. There was hoes all around.
Can you imagine what Fremont Street must look like right now at night? Boobies everywhere, flapping around. Men with super tight shorts running around.
Oh,
And then those cowboys with their Chippendales body.
I do not really like them very much, though I do think it's amusing to watch the girls turn red and squeal when the cowboys pick them up and put them on their shoulders.
Yeah. They wanted it. That's why they did it. That's why they walked up to them. I don't know. Fit the hoe theme of the day, but 50% she gave it, a 50%. I don't want to lose that. Thank you. 50% she gave it, a whole entire 50%. I am actually shocked. I figured you were going to give it more like 25%. 50%. Fair. That's solid. And I actually agree with your logic.
That's cool.
You're right. I acquiesced to you and stuff like that through things faster than I did. So that's all I got for you, folks. Thanks for our first Truth or Tease episode.
Indeed. Ho ho, good night, everyone.
Still a bye-bye.